Hello, everybody, to the Monday morning inspiration for the joy of creation and the magic of art, creativity, and play. Today's theme is preservation or creation. What do we choose? And what am I even talking about? So, welcome from the tropics. I'm still in Costa Rica, and there is a storm coming up. And tomorrow will be a travel day, so I'm pre-recording this session for you, and hopefully I can upload it here. Internet is really interesting. I'm at 4,000 feet altitude, which is like 1,000 something, 1,300 meters or so. And maybe if we are lucky, we get some rolling thunder as the weather is moving in from the Pacific coast rolling into the mountains. So preservation or creation. And what am I talking about? So what is it when we try to preserve something? Are we willing, when we preserve, are we actually an allowance of the creation, whatever it would like to be? When we preserve nature, what does this mean? Do we actually allow change to occur? When we preserve, when I try to preserve a painting, preservation is like where we maintain something as it is now, and we make sure it will not change. We preserve it as it is. And what is creation, though? What can we create when we are in allowance of things changing, when we are actually moving with the rolling thunder? And behind me, by the way, is a silk painting that I just finished today. Actually, I have been painting all day, and I'm a little sweaty, and I had a great painting morning. And now it's about 1 p.m. and the weather always shifts and changes here, and it gets cloudy, and it's very much already like the rainy season, where around midday it will start raining. And I think we have some raindrops falling on the metal roof here, which, wow, how does it get any better? Water. So behind me is it doesn't have a name yet. So tomorrow morning I will still quickly sun dry it more, sunset it, and then it can travel. And so, when I'm painting a silk painting, is pretty much like a watercolor painting. Things move and shift and change, and change constantly. The silk is out of control, water is out of control, and the paints and the way the colors mix and blend is totally out of control. So if I would try to preserve a shape, let's say, that I see in the beginning right away on the painting, and would sort of set it and fix it in like a fixed point of view, what would that create? Whereas when I'm painting, I'm in total allowance of things shifting and changing, and I'm always asking questions. I'm asking questions with my painting. Like, who would you like to be? I wonder who else is going to come into the painting. And there are things that show up with me being an allowance of that. It's not that I say, oh, I'm going to paint. Wow, it's really warm here. I'm going to paint 3 butterflies. The blue morpho, by the way, it's the blue morpho butterfly. They are really big. They are about this big here, and in the sun, like with the sunlight hitting them just the right way, they are really this intense blue, and then the outside is dark, and then when you look at them from underneath, they are dark. And so with the light, when they flap around in the jungle, all the different lights, so you have all kinds of colors in there. There are greens, there are purples, and it's even the silk allows the shimmer so beautifully. It's really amazing, actually, for painting butterflies, because there's a softness and the iridescence, And there's just a certain way of painting with silk that allows a lot of shimmering colors to be, let's say, in one butterfly. And it really looks very alive. And saying that, what aliveness is possible when we are in allowance of the creation, when we are in allowance of our life, when we are in allowance of the earth. What creation is possible when we don't try to hold on to things, right? Like preservation is, we try to hold on to things. And how many conclusions are in that? What makes us, wow, over there I see huge rain coming down. Wow, that's beautiful. It's in the valley. I overlook the valley from here, and the rain is just pouring down. Wow. Preservation, holding on to something, not being an allowance of change. What is this creating? Whereas when we are in allowance of, let's say, allowance of the earth, when you are in allowance of your life, when you are in allowance of whatever is showing up, and you then still ask questions, what can you create? I am in allowance. And there were moments where I was not in allowance with my paintings, and I had points of view about what I wanted to paint, or even conclusions about what kind of a painter I am. Like, I'm an abstract painter was my definition of my painting. And so I was not in allowance of shapes showing up in my paintings. As I always paint in a way where I let go, I dance with it. And so then shapes started to show up, and I was totally fighting them. And I wanted to preserve my definition of being an abstract painter. And so that was interesting, and I was really fighting it until I shifted that point of view and asked a question like, what is this actually? What can I create with this? What if I don't resist it? What is there for me to look at? And so if you are resisting anything in your creation, or maybe you are resisting abstract painting, or you have barriers to that. And the indicator could be, I remember one of my painting teachers, quote unquote, right, said to me once, wow, Bettina, you paint abstract and it's great. I always wanted to, but I never touched abstract painting. She didn't know the how to get into this being. She was a very detailed painter, just amazing. And she said that to me, and that made me wonder, like, she had that energy in her space where it was like I would like to, but how, but when, but oh well, it's going to be too complicated, let's just keep doing what we have been doing, right? Preservation. So the indicator could be that you see something, you see a painting or any other creation that really intrigues you. There's something about it. And rather than shoving it off and saying, oh, I don't have the time to paint in this way, or I just keep doing what I've been doing because that's my comfort zone. So if you have anything like that, I invite you to maybe look at it and see what gifts could there be for you. The gift that it was for me when I realized that there was I really had, so I was this abstract painter painting abstract, but I had this nudge in my universe about figure drawing. I was really intrigued by it, but it was like, no. So, but figure beings were showing up in my paintings, and fighting. So that, and then I left that behind and said, okay, so what is there actually for me? What is there? Is there something for me to learn? Is there something that I can add to my toolbox? And then when I moved to New York City and went to art school, I really went into drawing. I did figure drawing, I did nudes, and it was amazing. I found out that I had great ease with it, and I was actually really good. And 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 that, see, had I tried to preserve my creation space as the defined abstract painter, any definition is actually, by the way, a limitation. So everywhere you have defined the artist you are you willing to let that go? Thank you. So what if we never define anything? So if there is something that intrigues you, that there's an energy like, oh, I would love to sing, but I would love to work with wood, but, so if you have that what if this is actually something that you could be really good at? What if it is something that you could just explore, play with, and see where it takes you? It might just be one choice that will lead you to the next choice, to the next choice, to the next choice, and eventually you paint on silk. It's just an example. When I started painting, I had no idea I would paint on silk one day. I had no idea I would, little bug flying around. I had no idea I would paint in oils. I had all these points of view about turpentine, and so never went into oils until I found out, oh, well, there are other things rather than turpentine. I could use other things. And so then I found out about oil painting. I actually found out that I really enjoy it. So that, or if you see somebody else, or you see my paintings, right? You see something that I'm doing, or you hear me singing or something. If there is like an well, what if there's something for you to look at? What if you don't preserve the you have defined you are, which is a lie? What if you let that go? So everywhere you have defined you are this or you are that, and you are not this and not that. Everywhere you have defined the you and the not you, are you willing to let that go? Thank you. Cool. What if you start creating? Creating is really the space where the swallows are flying around. Later it will be the bats. So creation is, you ask a question, you choose. You ask for greater possibilities. And you are the contribution, and you receive the contribution. Question, choice, possibility, and contribution. So what if you always ask a question and you never stop asking questions? And when you find you defining you, or having any conclusions, or brushing things off, what if you don't choose that and you choose to look into it? The swallows are really cute. They are building nests up here. Yeah, here in Costa Rica, preserving anything, I would just say good luck. Here, everything changes all the time. That, like, a hill that is here now might not be here later, like in the year. And weather is changing constantly. And there are seasons, of course, but really the earth here is showing us the bugs that are flying around in front of our nose. And then the swallows catch them. And then the swallows come really close to our nose. Yeah, this country, earth here, is really very, very untamed and shifting and changing all the time. So we cannot preserve anything. Preservation is a construct. It's been created as an illusion that we can preserve something, but the earth is changing all the time. Nature is changing all the time, even beyond the seasons. There's, like, even within the seasons, there are changes. So change, everything is all the time changing. And what if we create with it? What if we create with everything? So what are you choosing? Preservation or creation? And what can we all create here on the earth? I wish you all a really great week. Next week, I will be again live from my home in the United States, my studio space. And so I see you all soon. Have a beautiful week of creating. And please feel free to share on Facebook, in the closed Facebook group. Share what you have been creating. If you are interested in joining the Monday Morning Inspiration and join live and ask questions, you will have to be registered to get your ticket, but it's all free. It's my gift to you. So please go to my website, www.bettinamadini.com, go to workshops, find Monday Morning Inspiration, and scroll down, and you find a link for registration. And then you will receive the Zoom call in information to join us live. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. And pura vida, life is beautiful, all is well. Bye.